Hello everyone, good evening. Hi, this is Alok Ojha. Welcome to StudyIQ IS English. Hope I am audible and visible to all of you. So as you can see the picture or as you can see the background behind me, the Mughal Emperor Jahangir. So today's topic is Nuruddin Muhammad Salim, also referred as Jahangir. So the aspirants, those who are new to the platform, let me tell you, right now we are going through medieval Indian series and we have covered different sections such as Babur, followed by Humayun and Akbar. Like Babur, he laid the foundation of Mughal Empire in India and he majorly fought 4 to 5 consecutive battles. He laid the foundation of Mughal Empire in India by defeating the last Lodi dynasty ruler whose name was Ibrahim Lodi. And the first battle of Panipat was fought in 1526 between Babur and Ibrahim Lodi, in which Babur emerged victorious. This was followed by the Battle of Bayana, in which Babur he had to face a defeat against Rana Sangaji of Mewar. Then comes Battle of Khanwa, in which Babur emerged victorious, followed by Battle of Chanderi, fought with Medini Rao, and then comes finally Battle of Ghagra. He died at the age of 47 and he was succeeded by his son whose name was Humayun. Humayun was the eldest son of Babur. The other sons were Hindal, Askari Mirza and Kamran. Humayun, it is said that during the time of Humayun, there was a political vacuum for approximately 15 years, from 1540 to 1555. Why? Because Sur dynasty ruled over India between this span of 15 years. Humayun, who is considered Humayun, which basically means the most fortunate one, is considered as one of the most unfortunate rulers of the entire Mughal dynasty. And the reason, as I've told you, for a span of 15 years, there was a political vacuum in India from the side of Mughals. The Sur dynasty foundation was being laid down by Farid, also referred as Sher Shah Suri or Sher Khan. Humayun, he again regained the control of India. He again laid the foundation of Mughal Empire in India after a span of 15 years. His biography, Humayun Nama, was written by his sister, Gulbadan Begum, and he was being succeeded by one of his able sons, whose name was Akbar. And we had studied in quite depth and detail about the policies that were being followed by Akbar, precisely his military expeditions and the policies of imperialism. What policy did Akbar follow towards the region of Rajputana? Like there were different kingdoms that were brought under different degrees of subjugation by Akbar, such as the kingdom of Amir that ruled over the region of modern day Jaipur, followed by the region of Merta, Nagaur district of Rajasthan, and the most important one, the Mewar. He adopted a very different approach towards the region of Gujarat, Malwa, Bihar, Bengal, Odisha, Kabul, Kashmir, and so on. Akbar was known for his liberal religious policy. I'll give you a very small example. Akbar, there's a place called as Fatehpur Sikri. After Akbar's victory over the region of Gujarat, he established a city referred as Fatehpur Sikri, which is approximately 60 to 65 kilometers away from the region of Agra. And here he started Ibadat Khana, where religious debates and discussions were being held by the religious scholars from different religions: Hinduism, Islam, Christianity, Zoroastrianism, Jainism, and so on. And there was a question this year in GS paper 1 about the religious syncretism of Akbar. True, and this new religion was referred as Din-e-Ilahi. Now Akbar was being succeeded by one of his sons, who is referred as Nuruddin Muhammad Salim, also referred as Jahangir. More than his Deccan expeditions, more than the expeditions led by Jahangir, Jahangir is known for his patronage towards arts. Precisely his patronage towards literature, his contribution towards the development of painting during his time, historians do believe that painting reached its epitome during the time of the Mughal Emperor Jahangir. So who was Jahangir? Okay. Specifically, let's understand about the basic introduction about Jahangir. Jahangir, he was born to Mughal Emperor Akbar and his wife Jodhabai, also referred as Maryam-uz-Zamani. We had seen previously in Akbar, like Akbar, he had followed a very different approach towards the Rajputs because he knew one thing, it is not easier to fight with the Rajput warriors. So he had adopted different policies, like initially he attacked their forts, later on he followed the policy of conquering the Rajput regions through matrimonial alliances. So there were many Rajput kingdoms who accepted Mughal suzerainty. And one such kingdom was the kingdom of Amer, present-day Jaipur, or the region around Jaipur. Its ruler, Raja Bharmal, he had married his daughter Jodhabai as a part of matrimonial alliances to Akbar. And he had accepted Mughal suzerainty. Jodhabai ji was referred as Maryam-uz-Zamani. So Salim or Jahangir was a son of Jodhabai and Akbar. Like Akbar was disciple of one of the Sufi saints, Sheikh Salim Chishti. He was a saint of a Chishti silsila. We had seen as a part of Sufism the different silsilas of Sufism. Chishti silsila, Qadri silsila, Suharwardi silsila, Naqshbandi silsila, and so on. So, Sheikh Salim Chishti, he was a Sufi saint of Chishti silsila. And Akbar was disciple of Salim Chishti. With the blessings of Salim Chishti, he was blessed with a boy and he named that boy as Salim. Now, as soon as the name Salim comes, the first movie that comes in the mind of everyone, it's not just about the UPSC aspirant. In the mind of everyone is Mughal-e-Azam. Correct? Salim and Anarkali, another important name that strikes the mind of everyone. Correct? So who was Salim? Who was Anarkali? Apart from Salim and Anarkali, there was one more lady who was referred as Nur Jahan. So who was Nur Jahan? Was she actually responsible for hijacking the government of the court? Sorry, not the government, I can say. Was she actually responsible for hijacking the Mughal court at that time? Also referred as Janta government. Let's explore. It's a short video, not a lengthier one. 30 to 35 minutes approximately. Yes, 30 to 35 minutes. So stick in the video till the end. It's an important one. Okay. So Salim, as he started growing young, okay, initially he was not much inclined towards the administration. Why? Because he was very fond of entertainment. He was completely drenched in consuming opium and wine. Now, how did this person, Salim, came in contact with Anarkali, who is also referred as Nadira Begum? Now, Nadira Begum, her father was a very wealthy merchant in the region of Afghanistan, precisely Kabul and Kandahar. And now he had taken a decision that he is going to trade now in India. So as a part of this, he was moving towards India. And in the region of Kabul or in the region of Afghanistan, he was being looted by the band of plunderers. And many historians do believe that he was also being killed. His daughter Nadira Begum, she was being captured and imprisoned in the region of Kabul. Raja Man Singh Ji, who was one of the Mansabdars in the court of Akbar, he took what we say Nadira Begum and presented it to Akbar. Akbar, after seeing Nadira Begum, named her Anarkali because she was quite beautiful and she has red beautiful cheeks. Hence, she was referred as Anarkali by Akbar. And she became a court dancer in the court of Akbar. One fine day on the birthday of Prince Salim, this lady Nadira Begum or Anarkali, she was performing a court dance. And at that time, when eyes of Salim fell on Anarkali, he was very fascinated towards her. And the love story between both of them started blossoming. In fact, Anarkali also fell in love with this person, Jahangir or Prince Salim. Akbar comes to know about this. And how does Akbar comes to know about this? Akbar comes to know about this through one of his court historians whose name was Abul Fazl. And Abul Fazl was like to Akbar, do you know about one thing? Your son has fallen in love with a court dancer. This is a stigma to the image of the Mughal Shahenshah, Mughal Badshah or the Mughal Emperor, that his son has fallen in love with a court dancer. Akbar gave a thought to it. And when once Salim was on expedition, it is believed that this lady, Nadira Begum, also referred as Anarkali, she was taken to the region of Lahore, and when she was alive, she was buried in the walls. This person, Salim, now he was heartbroken. But after some time, he again fell in love for the second time. And now he fell in love with whom? Mehrunissa, who was later given the title of Nur Jahan, light of the world. So who was Mehrunissa? Mehrunissa, she was a daughter of Itmad-ud-Dawla. Itmad-ud-Dawla, he was one of the nobles in the court of Akbar. And he was quite close to Akbar at that time. Now, this person is also referred as Ghiyat Beg Mirza. He was given the title Ghiyat Beg Mirza, Itmad-ud-Dawla. Okay. Now, it is said that Mehrunissa, she was also very pretty and beautiful. And as soon as Prince Salim saw her, he fell in love for the second time. And now, Akbar again comes to know about this. And the reason, same reason again this time as well, Abul Fazl. Okay. So, Abul Fazl, he informs Akbar about this and he says that probably Itmad-ud-Dawla and his son Asaf Khan might be eyeing your throne by marrying this lady whose name is Mehrunissa to your son Jahangir. Now, Akbar, he again gave a thought to it. Akbar calls Itmad-ud-Dawla and says that you have a very pretty daughter. And I know one of my Iranian commanders whose name is Sher Afghan. Why don't you marry your daughter, Mehrunissa, to Sher Afghan, who is governor of Bengal right now? To which this person, Itmad-ud-Dawla, agrees. Finally, it is believed that this lady, Mehrunissa, she was being married to Sher Afghan. And they also had a daughter in the coming year whose name was Ladli Begum. After some time, Akbar dies. And when Akbar dies, he was being succeeded by his son, Jahangir or Salim. Although Salim had revolted against his father previously. Okay? He dies. The first thing that he does is, he asks Bir Singh Bundela to assassinate this person, Abul Fazl, who was one of the major hindrances in his love story, not once, twice. Okay? So, this person, Abul Fazl, was being assassinated by Bir Singh Bundela. There might be other reasons for assassination as well. Now, what did this person do? This person, he sends one of his military commander, after 11 years I'm telling, okay. This person, he sends one of his military commanders to the region of, Bengal, and asks Sher Afghan that divorce your wife, Mehrunissa. Now, and Sher Afghan at this time, he gets very angry, obviously. And he kills the military commander that was being dispatched with a message. There were other, soldiers as well. Every one of them killed whom? Every one of them, they grouped together and killed this person, Sher Afghan. Immediately, Mehrunissa and his daughter Ladli Begum, they both were being captured and imprisoned. Few years later, Mehrunissa, she accepted to marry Jahangir or Salim. And it is believed that she was named as Nur Jahan, light of the world. And she played a very crucial and a major role in the court of Mughals, precisely in the court of Jahangir. So that was a story of Anarkali, also referred as Ladli Begum. Not Ladli Begum, Nadira Begum. And the other one, Mehrunissa, also referred as Nur Jahan. Okay. Now, as soon as this person, he sat on the throne. Now, what did he do? Let's understand about his policies. At this time, one of his son, Prince Khusro, he had revolted against him, and he had revolted with the help of the fifth Sikh Guru, whose name was Guru Arjan Dev Ji. It is believed that this person, he was being captured, Khusro, and he was being blinded. And Guru Arjan Dev Ji, he was being imprisoned initially, and later on he was being executed. Now let's understand in short about the military expeditions that were being led by Jahangir. First thing about the Mewar campaign. Hope so the points are clear, guys. Did you understand who was Mehrunissa? Now we'll understand about the Janta government and everything at that time. Okay. I'm going in a step-by-step manner for easier understanding of the concept. Okay. Now Mewar. As discussed previously, majority of the kingdoms initially during the time of Akbar had accepted Mughal suzerainty. I had given you the example of Amir, Nagaur, Ranthambore. These are the Rajputana kingdoms, okay? Except Mewar, majority of the Rajput rulers had accepted Akbar's or Mughal suzerainty. Akbar was successful in capturing the region of Chittor, not the entire region of Mewar. Okay? Now, we had studied the famous Battle of Haldi Ghati, which was fought in 1576. Okay? Then Battle of Dever, which is also referred as Marathon of Mewar, which was fought on the day of Vijay Dashmi in 1582. Now, it is said that Akbar had dispatched delegation for 10 times to convince Maharana Pratap Ji to accept Mughal suzerainty. But at that time, Maharana Pratap Ji did not accept the Mughal suzerainty. He knew that every time he was rejecting the offer that was being given by Akbar, he is inviting battle with him. Finally, the day came when the Battle of Haldi Ghati was being fought. Okay. During the initial stage, Maharana Pratap Ji was successful, but later on he had to withdraw from the battle. I'm not saying he lost the battle, he had to withdraw from the battle. After Battle of Haldi Ghati, Maharana Pratap Ji was just left with 7,000 to 8,000 soldiers. And he was, staying in the jungles of Aravallis, where he was being assisted by the Bhil tribe. One of his minister, Bhama Shah, assisted him financially. Bhama Shah in the books of history is also referred as savior of Mewar. Okay? And again Maharana Pratap Ji, he raised an army of 25 to 30,000 soldiers. Meanwhile, Mughal had conquered different regions of the Mewar, and they had created 36 Mughal posts, such as around the region of Chittor, certain parts of Udaipur, Kumbhalgarh, Gogunda, and so Chapan, and so on. But in 1582, the famous Battle of Dever was being fought on the day of Vijay Dashmi. This battle is also referred as Marathon of Mewar. And here, the army of Maharana Pratap Ji was being divided into two parts. So, okay, one was led by Maharana Pratap Ji himself personally, and second by one of his sons, Rana Amar Singh. Rana Amar Singh was son of Maharana Pratap Ji and grandson of Maharana Uday Singh Ji. Okay? And both of them were successful in reconquering the 36 Mughal posts that were being conquered by the Mughal army initially. Okay? So after Maharana Pratap Ji, the next Maharana was Rana Amar Singh, his son. Akbar died. Akbar was succeeded by whom? Rana Amar Singh. So now, at both the places, there were political changes. So now, new Maharana is Amar Singh. And there, the ruler is Jahangir. Jahangir saw this as an opportunity to bring Mewar under control. And around the time of 1614 or something, it is believed that the region of Mewar was brought under the Mughal suzerainty. And this was through a treaty. Got it? So this was about Mewar. Hope the point is clear. I had explained the things previously. I have explained the things right now in a step-by-step manner for easier understanding of the concept, so that the aspirants, those who are new to the platform, can easily correlate the things that we have studied previously. Got it, my friends? Okay. Moving ahead. Deccan campaign, Malik Ambar. Here, they were not successful. The Mughals were not successful in conquering the territories of Berar and so on. Why? And who is Malik Ambar? In short, within next 2 minutes, Malik Ambar, he is also referred as Chapu. Okay. And he was born at a place called as Ethiopia. Like, the life of Malik Ambar is also very different and a historic life. From the position of a slave, okay, he rose to the level of a king. So, Malik Ambar, his name was Chapu, and he was born in Ethiopia. At the very young age, his parents sold him into slavery. And for the first time, he was sold as a slave in the region of Yemen. Later on, he was moved to the region of Baghdad. Again, he was sold as a slave. Third time, he was sold as a slave in the region of Saudi Arabia at a place called as Makkah. And later on, he was being purchased by Mir Qasim Baghdadi, who sold him to the Bahmani Sultanate. Okay. Now, how did Bahmani Sultanate come into picture? If you remember the Tughlaq dynasty that we had studied previously. Okay. Small example. Kakatiyas were ruling in the region of Warangal, present-day Telangana. And the ruler was Pratap Rudradev. During the time of Alauddin Khilji, he had dispatched one of his able military commander whose name was Malik Kafur. We had studied about the expeditions of Alauddin Khilji in quite depth and detail. Okay. So Malik Kafur, he had conquered different regions, such as he had conquered the region of Dwar Samudra by taking over the region from the Hoysalas. Then he had defeated Pratap Rudradev, and Pratap Rudradev, he had accepted the suzerainty of Alauddin Khilji at that time. Okay. And he had accepted to pay the tribute to the Khilji dynasty for the next 13 to 15 years. But later on, after the death of Alauddin Khilji, there was a political turmoil. And a new dynasty came to power in the form of Tughlaq dynasty. And during the time of Muhammad bin Tughlaq, what happened? This region of Warangal, okay, it was being taken over by Muhammad bin Tughlaq. And after this, there was fragmentation of the kingdom, even after Muhammad bin Tughlaq. And the outcome of this fragmentation was the kingdom of Bahmani. Okay. In the coming years, Malik Ambar, he started working as military commanders for the Bahmani. And after the death of the Bahmani Sultan, it is believed that Malik Ambar declared his independence and he became one of the independent rulers. Okay. Like, he was also associated with the Nizam Shahis and so on. Now, this person, Malik Ambar, during his time, Jahangir had sent major expeditions to the region of Deccan. Okay. But every expedition sent by Jahangir were unsuccessful. Okay. Why? Because of the military capabilities of Malik Ambar. Like Jahangir or Prince Salim, he had revolted against his father Akbar. Similarly, Prince Khurram, son of Jahangir, also referred as Shah Jahan, he revolted against whom? Jahangir. And the major reason here was whom? The major reason here was Jahangir's wife Nur Jahan. Okay. So, as I've told you, the entire story of Nur Jahan, her original name was Mehrunissa. Like, she was given the title Nur Jahan by Jahangir. Okay. Now, she had a lot of influence in the Mughal court. How? Her father, Itmad-ud-Dawla, he was appointed at the higher post. Her brother, Asaf Khan, he was also appointed at a higher post as one among the nobles. So, the influence of Nur Jahan started increasing. in the court of the Mughals. Like Shah Jahan, many historians do criticize that, and in fact support the point of Shah Jahan that this lady, she had formed a janta. What is the meaning of the word janta here? Janta doesn't mean the people here. Janta basically means her own group of nobles who are supporting the cause of whom? Nur Jahan. Because everyone knew that Jahangir was under the control of Nur Jahan. And in fact, her son Shah Jahan knows about this. Okay? So, Jahangir has died. And when Jahangir died, war of succession began. Now, Nur Jahan, she wanted her son-in-law to succeed, whose name was Shahryar Khan. But Shah Jahan's maternal uncle Asaf Khan, who was also brother of Nur Jahan, knew the competence of Prince Khurram, also referred as Shah Jahan. He supported Prince Khurram, that is Shah Jahan. And after Jahangir, Shah Jahan, he sat on the throne of Mughal Empire. And the reign of Shah Jahan is also referred as Golden Age of Mughal architecture. The finest example is the Taj Mahal, the Red Fort, Moti Masjid, and so on. Hope you understood things. Okay? Now let's go for a factual part. Like Jahangir's reform, I'll talk about the chain of justice system. Like, if anyone feels that an injustice has been done to him, he can approach the Mughal emperor anytime. I'll give you one of the finest examples. This is also one of the examples from the court of Akbar. Like Akbar, he used to there's something called as Diwan-e-Aam and Diwan-e-Khas. Diwan-e-Khas, he used to meet his ministers, and in Diwan-e-Aam, he used to meet the general public and listen to their grievances. Okay? Now, what happened once upon a time? See how the system was at the time of Akbar. Like everyone knew that at a particular point of time, Akbar is going to address the normal public. Okay? Akbar, at that time, he knew one important aspect, that corruption was quite in vogue. So, Akbar, he used to meet the people, he used to listen to their grievances and so on. So, what happened? I'll give you a small example. When Akbar used to meet the people, there was a noble who was standing outside, and this noble, what he used to do? This noble used to take money from the people. Okay, if you have to meet Akbar, give me 10 copper coins, give me 10 silver coins. So there was an artisan who comes to this person. Not an artisan, there was an artist. Okay. So he comes to meet Akbar, and the noble who was standing, he said that pay me something, then and then I'll allow you into the court. He said that I don't have anything. So, but he said that I'm an artist, and Akbar would be very happy to meet me, and he will give me something in gifts. So whatever gift I will get, I'll give 50% of that gift to you. This noble becomes happy. Yes, I accept this offer. He goes into the court of Akbar. Akbar recognizes him, and Akbar asked him, Akbar was very happy to meet him, and Akbar asked him, what do you want? Please let me know. He said that I want 50 stripes to be beaten on my back. The entire court was stunned, including Akbar. You are such a beautiful artist. Ask something. Ask gold, jewelry, anything. You're asking, you want 50 stripes to be beaten on your back. Are you gone nuts? He said, no, I want 50 stripes to be beaten on my back. Akbar said, please go ahead. As soon as the soldiers were ready to beat the stripes on his back, he said, please, my majesty, I have asked to, I have promised somebody to share 50% of my gift. And then Akbar comes to know about the entire story. Akbar said, do not worry about this. 100% of the gift would be given to that person. So this was a system that Akbar followed at that time. Okay. So similarly, Jahangir, he followed certain good things, or he followed the footsteps of his father Akbar in dispensing justice. Okay. Like the golden chain of justice system, also referred as Zanjeer-e-Adl, was being started by Jahangir. If anyone feels that what we say a proper justice has not been done to that person, okay, he can use this golden chain of justice system and seek justice for redress redressal of his grievances. Okay, moving ahead. Duhaspa and Sihaspa system. This is a part of Mansabdari system. In Mansabdari system that we'll study as a part of Mughal administration, I'll be talking about the type of Mansabdar. What is Zat? What is Savar? Okay, Zat, Savar basically means personal pay and status. Okay, and Zat specifically how many number of horses to be maintained, how many number of troops to be maintained, it is decided by the rank. Okay, so in that case, when we'll study about the Mansabdari system, we'll understand in quite depth and detail about Zat and Savar system. So just remember one thing, Duhaspa and Sihaspa. Duhaspa basically means 2. Sihaspa means 3. Double or triple the number of horsemen to be maintained by a particular Mansabdar. A very small example. Suppose I am a Mansabdar. Okay. Now I have to maintain 500 men under me as a part of infantry or a cavalry. Everyone has to maintain 1 horse with him. But there are certain soldiers who are given the rank of Duhaspa or Sihaspa. Simple word, not all the soldiers, certain soldiers would be allowed to maintain 2 horses. Certain soldiers would be allowed to maintain 3 horses. So that is nothing but Duhaspa and Sihaspa. Double or triple number of horses to be maintained by a particular Mansabdar or a soldier. And we will understand about this when we will study Mansabdari system in quite depth and detail. Got it? So for now, just remember one thing. Duhaspa, double the number of horses to be maintained. Sihaspa, triple the number of horses to be maintained. Okay, he followed the similar policy of matrimonial alliances that was being followed by Akbar. Land was being again categorized during his time into 4 categories: Polaj, Parauti, Chachar, and Banjar. As discussed previously, Polaj, it's a fertile land, cultivation throughout the year. Parauti, cultivation once in a year. Chachar, the cultivation, once in 2 years. Banjar, it's an infertile land. Either there would be cultivation or no cultivation. The taxes on this land would be very less. And the actual genesis goes back to the time of Sher Shah Suri, if you remember. During the time of Sher Shah Suri, the land was being categorized into 3 categories. And on the basis of the fertility of the soil and the production, the peasants were being taxed. Correct? So, this was a thing. To an extent, what happened? This person also followed a liberal religious policy like his father, Akbar. But he was quite supportive to the Muslim people. Or he had a direct patronage towards the Islam. Okay? One more thing, during the time of Akbar, Sati system was banned. Jizya system was banned. Now, what is Jizya system? Jizya basically, we had studied that as a part of introduction. Like it was imposed on non-Muslim, a kind of a religious tax. Okay? Women, beggars, old age people, they were exempted from payment of Jizya. So Babur imposed Jizya, Humayun imposed Jizya, but it was being abolished by Akbar. It was reimposed by Jahangir. During the time of Shah Jahan, there is a person or a Brahmin referred as Kavindracharya from the region of Banaras. He had requested Shah Jahan to annul or cancel the system of Jizya in the region of Allahabad and Banaras, since these are the pilgrim hotspots. And the Hindu pilgrims usually visit this place. So Shah Jahan also had abolished Jizya in the region of Allahabad and Banaras. Hence, he was also called as Little Akbar. So Jahangir, he had reimposed Jizya. Okay. Now, English East India Company, which was formed by the charter. So there was a person from the English East India Company, Captain William Hawkins, who visited the court of Jahangir. Okay. And in that case, he was denied the permission for establishing factory for the first time in Surat. But later on, Sir Thomas Roe, he was given the permission by Jahangir to establish the first factory at Surat. Okay. One more important fact, please remember. The first Englishman to visit the court of Akbar was Ralph Fish. Sometimes a direct question can crop up in the prelims examination. Who was the first, English person to visit the court of Akbar? And if the option is Captain William Hawkins, majority of them will mark that. That is not the truth. Captain William Hawkins was the first person from English East India Company to visit the court of Jahangir. And Thomas Roe was succeeded by Captain William Hawkins, who was given the permission to establish factory at Surat. But Ralph Fitch, he visited the court of Akbar for the first time. He was the first Englishman. Got it? Yes, my friends. And last few points. As I have told you, Jahangir, he patronized art, architecture, literature and painting a lot. Another important example, Jahangir supported writers and poets at that time. And specifically speaking, Tuzuk-e-Jahangiri was being written at that time. Architecture, Shalimar Gardens in the region of Lahore, are credited to the time of Jahangir. He patronized different, painters at that time. One among them was Abul Hasan, and Aka Riza. So, one of the painter was Aka Riza and his son Abul Hasan. Both of them were being patronized by Jahangir. So, this is nothing but the major part of Jahangir.